Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Super Castlevania 4 80% 2021 tournament here, presented on Castlevania Speedruns. I'm Retrophile TV. Joined in the booth today by Drunken Draconia. Good morning, DD.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Welcome to everyone that hopped in for this one. We had a slight reschedule for this one. So thank you for those that were able to join here. We are going to be seeing an excellent matchup here. This is some round two action that we have here on the winner's side of the house here. Stuff is Stuff versus Booga Booga or Bogaabogaa. I'm sure we will use that interchangeably between when asking. He said just use whatever. So it's just, we don't have an exact pronunciation. So probably Bogaabogaa is probably what I'm going to use, or just Boga. Dee, what do you think on that one as far as pronunciation goes, and what's your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, I've always said Boga. As for thoughts on this matchup, I think that Boga Boga is definitely a favorite here, but I don't really like discounting people. This game can throw us a curveball. Stairs, pits, spikes, you name it. Anything can change the outcome of the race.
Agreed. Now that being said, I think that Boga, I mean, obviously is definitely the favorite going into this year. Stuff is no slouch by any means, and clearly can put up some excellent times. But Boga has some extremely intimate game knowledge. Basically, he's made multiple ROM hacks for it. He's working,
Yep.
I believe, on an editor for CD4 to make your own levels and stuff like that, modifications. So he knows how things work very well, and it's extremely skilled. I'm not sure about consistency's sake, but we'll see how that pans out. But Stuff has his work cut out for him today.
Yep. That's how I actually got to know Boga Boga, was through a little bit of ROM hacking. I found his YouTube video and I just sent him a message, and he joined the Discord, and since then it's all been history. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're getting our final readies here for our fine folks, and we'll get started here momentarily. So hang in there, folks. All right. Timer's going to be beginning here in about 15 seconds. Good luck to our runners here, and we're about to kick this race off and continue on this wonderful Castlevania 4 weekend.
Yeah, I believe there's another race later on tonight as well.
There is, and also we have 2 tomorrow, no less, too. So we get a lot of action-packed stuff here. For those that, if you guys, before this race starts, go ahead and toss a follow to Castlevania Speedruns so you don't miss out. And away we go here. Runners are off. So DD, let's talk about stage one. What do we expect here as this race starts?
Well, we'd like to see everyone with full whip upgrade and triple cross by the end of the stage. Pretty easy to get. You know, you get your whip upgrades and multipliers from small heart candles. And you get your whip upgrade at 5 hearts and 8 hearts for the first chain and second chain. And then you just got to hit a bunch of stuff, enemies or candles, with your sub weapon to unlock the multipliers. Lots of damage boosts too. I've known some runners to affectionately call Simon's life as boost fuel. And yeah, we're going to see everyone at dangerously low health throughout the whole stage just to save a couple seconds here and there.
I have to comment that the sync here in the first couple of screens have been pretty solid out of the gate here. Both competitors putting on a good run from what it looks like here out of the gates, and they both are currently working with getting that triple shot cross. By gaining the triple shot, they have to basically just hit things, candles, projectiles, enemies, up to accordance, I think, of 10, and you have to have 8 hearts. Oh wow!
Oh.
Boga going for the clip. The first instance of someone trying for it, unfortunately gambling and losing. So now he's gonna be actually fighting from his corner at this point, and that gives Stuff a potentially early lead here that he's probably not even aware of. I don't think he knew that he went for it offhand. So
yeah, it's kind of a different mentalities. Some racers like to watch the other racers to see where they are, and others just like to focus on their game plan. I doubt we'll see a second attempt at this. Oh, no.
I don't. There's no express rules to actually like not watch the stream because there's no way to enforce that specifically. But I feel just as someone that has competed, and you as well, Dee Dee, I don't know if you can vouch for this on your side or not, but I don't watch it. I don't listen to it. I go into a vacuum and basically just try to focus as best as possible. I find it extremely distracting if I'm hearing commentary and other people potentially, praising someone else for doing something, or hearing, such and such is in the lead, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's very distracting. All it takes is half a second, especially once you get to the later stages where it's more important, quote unquote, to listen. Uh,
Right.
just not looking at a spike or just taking a damage boost into a pit anywhere in stage A, for example.
Yeah, very good example there. I mean, it all takes is just a small lapse in concentration, or just one small misstep, and this game will try to kill you every chance it gets. And speaking of killing, Stuff is Stuff doing a nice job there with a very good kill on Rodane, cleaning up a very clean stage 1. But again, this is still extremely on, folks. Boga has plenty of time to catch up, and we'll see how things pan out here on his side as well.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. Commentating. It's called "Was That a Boss?"
Yeah, the triple shot cross just shreds everything. For those that don't know, each hit of the cross does basically one full, fully upgraded, fully extended whip of damage, and basically it will stack through and multi-hit after a certain period of time. So that's why you just watch this health just melt away throughout the entire game. And of course, there's other categories in CV4 too, low percent whip only, that kind of remove the use of the cross and kind of go back to the bare essentials of being a Belmont. But this is definitely the fastest way to complete the game. Very enjoyable to watch. The cross placement meta in CV4 I find very satisfying over the other Castlevanias where maybe you're doing some sub-weapon juggling and stuff like that. But finding those placements just feels so good.
Yeah, it's true. There was a while there, I remember years ago, where people were playing around with picking up the holy water for a couple bosses, but in terms of building up your multiplier again, it just wasn't really worth it.
Right. Yeah, with that, I mean, in multi-hits, you can get the multiplier pretty quickly, so it's not too bad. But yeah, the cross meta is the way to go here, hands down. I think that may have been some old mentality with how the original CVs, the holy water was so freaking stacked, but they nerfed it pretty hard in CV4.
Yeah, the Wexel fight is faster with the holy water. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and even then, that's still a blip on the radar with 3 crosses overall. But that being said, blip on the radar here, we got Medusa here on Stuff side here in stage 2, the mid boss of this stage.
Wait, was that a boss?
Oh. Right, you are, DD. Stuff. Got the ideal health here going into the river stages. Opting not to take the boost on the first skeleton. I don't think he intended to kill that, but maybe I could be wrong. However, Boga on his side also looking pretty solid overall. Has one lower tick of health, unfortunately. Curious to see if he'll opt for the boost or not on the first screen. Medusa giving a bit of a shy pattern on that one. A bit of a slower kill, but not too bad overall. Stuff coming into the second screen of the river. 5 boosts to the end, 2 bone pillars, 3 gargoyles, and we'll be moving on to the first major hurdle of the run, and maybe we'll see some things switch up here in stage 3. Let's talk about that, DD. Large multi-part stage. What should we expect?
Stage 3. First stage, the most important parts are getting past the Mudmen without taking too much damage. They hit you for 4 if they're fully grown, and they only hit you for 3 if they've been broken up. And hitting for 4, it's one of those things that it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal earlier on in the stage, but where every other damage boost hits you for 3, that 1 extra pip will actually mean the difference between finishing the stage with 1 health or 0 health.
Right, you are. And that being said, I mean, Simon has, if I'm correct, has 16 pips of health. Yep. So, I mean, yeah, if you divide that by 3, you at least have a chance to take 5 boosts and not die. Whereas if you take that 1 bit of 4, well, you've now cut it down to 4.
Yeah. And there's some very important damage boosts coming up on the second part of stage 3. One to kind of, like the ring glitch gets you past some parts pretty quick, but you can also do a damage boost, which also will raise the screen camera. Yeah, that's a little sketchy. It raises the screen camera, and you're able to hook onto a ring a little bit sooner than you would normally be able to.
So Stuff getting bullied there by the Mudman, taking a double hit where he definitely didn't want to. He's looking pretty good otherwise. Boga on his side getting a very unfavorable pattern where the 2 Mudmen together walk into each other, but he took it very well and had to take a stalactite boost there. And just that little hiccup right there actually opened the door for Boga to get back into this. Let's see how the ring glitch treats Stuff. Oh, he's going to be very
scared
careful
for him.
Yeah. That's a scary moment. It looks like he's going to bail on it. Like he was just not feeling it after that one. Definitely
Yeah.
shaking the nerves here. So we'll see Boga go for it and see what happens. For those that don't know, ring glitch is basically being able to attach to the 12 points of the clock, as we see right there.
Yeah,
And
very nice.
yeah, we can see exactly what it saves. That's closing the gap on Boga's side just from that. But basically allows you to vertically extend the whip and gives Simon a huge boost. In this case, has a chance to actually pop himself up. You'll see it potentially variously used within the run itself. We'll actually potentially see it used again at the very end as we're making the final climb up to the boss of stage 3, the Orphan Vipers.
Yeah, there's also another one in the screen before the Vipers, but it's a very minimal time save, and it's guaranteed death if you miss it, so I doubt we'll see the runners go for it.
Yeah, agreed. So Stuff got the eye boost on his side, whereas Boga did not have enough capital in his boost fuel, so to say. He only had 1 pip, so he had to pass on that. You need to have at least 4 health to take that eye boost, since it does 3 to cross that gap. So even though he did hit the ring glitch, he missed out on the eye boost. So it's kind of a back and forth that we're seeing there. But now they're right on the same screen together.
Yeah, Boga's done a really good job of catching up.
Yeah, and you got to think right now that Stuff is not feeling too great about missing that ring glitch or having to pass on it. He knows that's a time loss, and also opting to kill the dragon as opposed to boost over it.
Okay. Yeah,
Nicely
that one's
done.
very particular, the one that Boga just pulled off. You have to be in a very specific position in order to get enough height. If you're just even 1 pixel too far left, you won't get the height and you'll fall down to the platforms below.
Yeah, at least that's a nice backup from there. For that one, for the visual cue that I use, I actually use Simon's toe. It actually lines up very nicely with the edge of a block, and you can kind of just go based on that. That once you kind of push yourself a little bit down to like the 11 o'clock mark, that's where you can kind of like, pop up and make it up there. And very nicely done. Like, look where we're at now. We are all square once again. Maybe Stuff with a slight lead on Boga, but clean kill from Boga here on this side. Oh, slightly for Stuff. My apologies. Oh, wow, that's really close.
Yeah, they really did a good job to make things close for us.
We've got ourselves a race, folks. Coming to stage 4, the Abandoned Fortress. 2 bosses on this one, a whole bunch of Mode 7, which is basically just some fancy graphics that Super Nintendo had for a background layer. And we're going to see what we have here. I think Boga's going to go for some very nice D-boosts, where Stuff may take things a little bit safer, which we can see here. And Boga edges him out a nice lead.
Yeah, with the meat that Boga just picked up there, you're pretty free to take some damage boosts and not worry about it. And the boss, again, because of the triple cross, you don't need to worry about your health too much.
Yeah, we can see that Stuff is definitely taking things a little bit safer, not opting to go for that Skeleton Knight boost. Nice kill there from Boga, and also pretty good there from Stuff. Stuff on about the same. We're coming into our slight intermission here, and basically just gonna watch this room rotate. Oh,
Whoa.
Look at this! Look at this!
Oh, that's funny.
Boga flexing his knowledge in that moment. What swag? I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that before either. That's amazing. It really is. Oh, and he's not even going to throw crosses.
Yeah, it just looks like that Simon is just laying back and having a good time. Look, he's raising himself. This is the swaggiest stage 4 intermission of them all. This is fantastic. Well played, Boga. On the left side, the more traditional strat from Stuff, just taking it nice and easy. But a good show there from Boga. I appreciate that.
Yeah, really showing his game knowledge. We said earlier that he's done some ROM hacking of this game, and I know that he's spent quite a lot of time just learning all kinds of different ways that the blocks and stuff interact.
Yeah, and he's definitely putting it on display. I'm curious to know if he's got any other tricks in his bag he may bust out for that one. That was definitely very, very fun to see. Maybe the first and potentially last time we see it, unless Boga does it again in the future. Because this is double elimination, folks. We are on the winner's side of the bracket here. So loser does not go home. They just go down to the lower brackets. And we will be seeing both of these runners again regardless. But you want to try to maintain yourself on the winner's side of the house as best as you can and give yourself the best chance of winning this tourney. Coming into
both players...
Good.
Yeah, I was just saying both players are doing really well on this screen. There's a lot of things that can go wrong because the skeletons will just pop out of the ceiling, and they kind of pop out based on how the background is. But if you move forward consistently through the screen, then you're going to get the same skeleton patterns.
Oh, here we go.
That is it.
That is a beautifully executed zip. Very nicely done from Boga there. He's going to be extending his lead out because I know that stuff is not going to be going for this. Which clearly he didn't.
I don't even go for the zip myself.
Yeah, we've seen. I think everyone that has attempted it at this point has been confident enough to do so and has gotten it. Because I think we've seen JC go for it and get it. We've seen Justin Fenn go for it, and now Boga. So we are 3 for 3 in the zip in the tournament right now.
Nice 6 hits on the first volley, and yeah, Cornot just disappears there. That's the ideal first volley, is if you can knock 6 pips off the boss.
Yeah, where we can see a little less on Stuff's side there. I think only 2 or 3 pips from the first. If the cross placement and whip placements are not perfect, you don't get that full 6 pips coming off there. But very well executed by Boga, lengthening his lead and his stride, going into stage 5. No bosses here, just a transitional stage into the true Castlevania stages from stage 6 onward. The main thing to worry about here is harpies. You know, hoping for the best.
It's
here.
harpy country.
At least it's only for one screen, but it feels like the screen goes on for absolute ever if you're getting bullied by those harpies.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
it's even possible to get knocked down into the first section again, so you got to deal with the harpies once more.
Yeah, the harpies themselves can be just an absolute pain, and just the unpredictability of it. Sometimes they even go beyond where you can even throw the crosses, above where you can even jump, so you have to kind of have that wherewithal to be able to whip upward or take care of it. Boga getting the troll one at the very end, but having the knowledge to throw that cross to block that from happening. We'll be taking 2 boosts here.
Yep.
Nails it nicely, very well done. Whereas I believe Stuff from what I've watched, he's more goes for consistency rather than boosts on this one. I don't know if he'll go for that one specifically, but we'll see. And on Boga's side, coming into stage 6, where the game truly begins and the difficulty ramps up significantly. Drunken Draconian, tell me about stage 6 and what we have to expect in this long one.
Lots of ghosts, lots of dogs, lots of bats, some chandeliers, and hopefully no secret room for anybody.
Fingers crossed. Do you think we're going to see potentially a 1-cycle chandelier from Boga?
I would say that Boga would go for it, but I also know that he is good enough to recognize if he's not able to get it and able to hold back. It's one of those very sort of committal strategies where you just have to go for it and hope that you hit it.
I think we've only seen it once so far in the tourney, and that was JC that pulled that out. I mean, you can see how close and how tight that final jump to the final platform actually is. It's always scary looking.
Yeah, this jump on the second chandelier here is kind of the crux of the whole situation. As long as you can make that, everything else kind of lines itself up.
Oh, there it is.
Well, yeah, Stuff's back in the lead.
Yeah, right there it is. So there's no checkpoint going up there. So right now, Boga has only died by going for harder strats. I mean, he went for the clip in stage 1, completely respect it. He went for the 1 cycle in stage 6, completely respect it. I'm kind of curious to see now, based on these 2 deaths, if he's wondering, you know, am I in the behind at this point? You know, he realizes that's a costly death.
Yeah, you can see him sort of struggling a little bit, unfortunately not having the cross anymore. The holy water is a nice, powerful weapon, but it just can't go the distance like the cross can.
Yeah, not going the distance, not going for speed unless you have the cross in your pocket there. And so we will be seeing Boga going for that secret room. Going for it again. Look at this. The man is committed for this. Setting up for all the things, getting those jumps. Oh. I'm falling again. Oh, but this opens the door amazingly for Stuff at this point. These are extremely costly deaths. So if Stuff can clutch this one out and do well, this is going to be a major upset. But there's a lot of ground that Boga has to make up. Not impossible, but time is dwindling here as we're at the 16-minute mark in a potentially sub 40-minute run.
Yeah, that's about a minute and a half each death there. So
yeah,
we'll have to see.
Too.
Yeah, so you see, Stuff is on his way to the skeleton hellway. Lots of skellies, very little space, and the big thing is just getting your cross placements correctly.
Yes, I'll take a D-boost out of the gate here, throw some crosses low, and unfortunately taking some damage there. I believe those red skulls do 4 damage, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's 5. I could be wrong, but I think it's 5. They hit real hard.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But so Stuff will likely be taking the safety meat on the next screen here. Has plenty of time to do so, but it could be death by paper cuts if he does think they're not optimal, and Boga really puts on the jets here and kind of pushes the way forward.
Alright, so Boga should be able to get himself up to a double just before leaving the screen. Yeah.
And he does. Nicely done. All right, Stuff coming out of the skeleton hallways at this point, and is going to be actually going to be killing a good chunk of those in the ring. They're going to take a quick cough and boost through there. Actually walks through nicely. Now he has to face the dangerous furniture and ghost dancers that come through here, but he is now 1 screen away from facing Paula Abdul and Fred Askaire. But he's got a triple shot cross in his pocket, so he's feeling good there.
Yeah, very healthy too. Not much to worry about, even if these dancers end up harassing him a little bit.
Looks like he's playing it kind of safe, just trying to say, get off me, by whipping the process here. Boga makes it across the chandeliers. The damage has obviously been done, but he's working on getting his cross. Actually, he has his cross back at the triple, so he's back up to full speed. And now it just hopefully is going to be sheer execution the whole way out. Nice kill there from Stuff. I mean, what was the phrase? Was that a boss?
Yeah, I think so, but I mean, I just saw it for a second.
Yeah, it was just a whole bunch of, like, the screen started moving, the mode 7 fun happened, and we saw, a couple of flames, and that was basically it. Stage 7, coming into the long library of Castlevania 4.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be a book jump. I know Boga's going to go for it, but book jump is definitely worth going for. It saves quite a bit of time.
It's about a 5-second save, I believe, so you don't have to wait for the books to actually go back. I don't know if Stuff is going to feel comfortable enough to go for it in the run.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. This screen before the book jump's not a very long one. Well, you gotta watch out. Sometimes Simon can't hook onto stairs, and sometimes he'll hook onto them when you don't want it. Alright, okay. So he didn't get the low axe.
Yeah, no good axe on his side, unfortunately, so he has to kind of wait for this pattern a little bit, so that's will be a slight time loss, possibly something that Boga, if he gets himself the good axe when he gets there, shouldn't be too bad. And
the answers are giving Boga a tough time.
Yeah, and going to get the 1-up. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, math checks out.
Yeah, how about it, right? I didn't even take a realization of that. So for those that don't know, if you die in Castlevania 4, you go back to the last checkpoint, which is usually the beginning of the block. However, if you take a game over, you go back to the beginning of the entire stage. So if you're late in the stage in stage 6 like this in the ballroom, you go all the way back to the entry screen. So I can understand that entirely.
Yeah.
Stage 7, Stuff did not go for the book jump, by the way. Took things nice and safe and consistent as I thought he would. Health is looking pretty good overall here. Only a couple of screens away, but Boga hot on his heels as well.
Yeah, there's some damage boosts coming up. I'm not sure if Stuff is going to go for them, but there's a lot of enemies on the screen just before the boss. And,
yeah, we have 2 activates there.
A lot easier to just get through if you're going to damage boost.
Speaking of, taking a nice statue boost there. Gets the high axe, nice boost, number 1. Does not go for number 2.
Yeah, I think that might have just been a setup issue, not taking the boost off the Axe Knight. It is possible to jump a little bit too far. Oh, was that a boss?
Sir Grakel not even having a chance to raise his weapon, and that one just marches forward into a wall of crosses. And Boga going for the unassisted setup there. That was actually quite nice on that book jump. Just the red skeleton was still alive, and he still made the jump and was able to whip him down. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's something that you have to do in a whip only or low percent run, is make the jump and deal with the skeleton still.
Ooh, but taking some unintentional damage there against that Axe Knight. So he will likely be taking the safety meet that's coming up here. And we're on Stuff side. Stage hate. Let's talk about it, Didi. What do we got here?
Spikes. Spikes as far as the eye can see. And
Spikes, death, and lamentation.
Yep. There's a lot of damage boosts in this screen, which will help you get through the spikes. It's one of the only ways you can travel through them without instant death.
I think a lot of people playing this game casually did this D boost coming up here off the bone pillar. Just said, screw it. I'm just gonna go across the top and hope for the best.
Oh, that drip. Yeah, the drips are one of the things that'll catch you off guard. You don't really account for them, especially if you've spent a lot of time on the screen and they're not spawned in the way that you can really work with.
Right, exactly. Speaking of cycles, you're doing a good job getting those crushers. Not too bad.
Greco was doing some blocks on Boga's side. You can just watch his health regen as he's sitting there with the shield up. It's one of the worst things you can see in a speed run.
just sitting there waiting. Just come on, Grackle. Just go ahead and die. Don't put the shield down.
Pretty much through the tough part of 8. The only other thing that's coming up is the book jump. Or not the book jump, sorry. Vegas Bridge.
Yes, Vegas Bridge. I believe it's 6 blocks of random timers between 64 to 128 frames each. They can either be there and disappear for that a long period of time. And those timers start when you spawn them at roughly about 3/4 through the spike walk that you do when you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where... Ooh, nice boost through the spikes there from Boga. It's one of those things where if you spawn the bridge by, like, ducking underneath, just the patterns are all messed up. It's very easy to get across the bridge as long as everything kind of spawned in at the same time, because they're all roughly at the same timer at the beginning, but they just get completely out of sync later on.
Yeah, I ran into that yesterday, my race with Just Defend, where I had a bad spike pattern and accidentally pushed down, and I had to crawl through the last bit of it. So basically, that's truly a gamble in and of itself. Boga, by the way, getting the top route boost, saving himself a nice chunk of time there off that eye and skipping all of that. So closing the gap ever so slowly.
He's doing a really good job.
Yeah, he's doing great, considering the double chandelier death and a death on stage 1. He's on 3 deaths at this point, and he's doing a great job catching up. Stage 9, the Treasury on Stuff side. Anything remarkable about this one, DD?
The Treasury is really scary. There's a few sections where any damage boost is just going to throw you into the abyss. And, yeah, and just skeletons everywhere. Like, there are as many skeletons in this stage as there are spikes in the previous stage.
and Konami knew exactly what they were doing and how they were positioning them overall. Oh my god, there's Stuff's first death, and we were just talking about that. That is going to open the door now for Boga. That's a major death, unfortunately.
That is a tough one. Jumping over that skeleton, I often will decide just to take the boost forward, so I'll jump early, because if you jump late and get boosted backwards, you're almost guaranteed to die.
Yeah, as we just saw there. Unfortunate that is a rarity, but can happen. Stuff now has to figure out where to get the backup cross. You can get it one of 3 places in stage 9. One of them being in a secret room. There's one on this screen here at the very top if he wants to go do that, and another one a little bit later if he does the whip swing.
Yeah, it's taking care of all the enemies first. That's really the best way to get up there.
Yeah, agreed. Getting trolled by those bats when you're trying to make that climb on those disappearing platforms, because once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So right now, Boga with a triple shot cross, where his stuff needs to rebuild, and obviously he's going to be feeling very shook by that death. Again, he's always been thinking here at this point that he's been running from behind, and that's only going to extend his thoughts. So I'm curious to see how he'll be playing. But Boga playing very confidently, recovering extremely well from those chandelier deaths and charging forward.
Yep. It looks like Stuff went for the safety meat and rosary. Kill all the enemies. Oh god.
Oh, that was scary. But if he would have got hit there, he actually had an extra platform.
Yeah. It's very good to, if you can, think about it anyway, leave a platform there to catch you if you do get boosted. Ideally, your crosses will take care of it, but sometimes you just can't count on it.
Yeah, sometimes the skeleton, which we saw there, does an early jump pattern, and if you don't have your crosses in just the right spot, he can actually eke out one or 2 of those hits in the process. Ooh, stuff coming into the Scrooge McDuck room. Unfortunately, having some difficulty getting the fast pattern as Boga. We are now tied up. Oh, look at this.
Nice.
You love to see it. We have ourselves a race in stage 9. Boga goes for the spike jump like a legend with a beautiful setup there. I believe that was developed by 2Cat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, the spike jump is a, you can keep me honest here, DD, that is a pixel perfect jump, and basically the way that he uses that cross setup allows him to get that movement basically a lot cleaner and a lot easier than if you would just do it without basically an unassisted spike jump. Just trying to eyeball it as best you can because it gets your sub pixels in the right spot.
Yeah, you can do some pretty awesome stuff by whipping or throwing across, which tends to lock Simon's feet in, so you can buffer your forward input and jump. So you can jump forward while you're set up on the proper pixel without worrying about moving forward enough that you'll end up on the spike.
That you are, DD. So both runners here coming into the final screen, going up to face Zap Bat. We did see Stuff go down and take things extra safe and grabbing another chunk of meat by going back down and coming back up. 22 hits here against Zap Bat to break him up into 3 smaller bats. Want to make sure that you do that 20-second hit as low as possible to stack and layer crosses and take care of this boss, because unfortunately if this one gets away from you, it can take some time.
Yeah. That was a perfect height for a kill. The health is a little sketchy, but we're good.
Yeah, we saw Boga had to back off there and trying to keep things together. Stuff was a little bit higher up, but they're swooping down.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot. You can actually end up killing it too low as well, because they'll sort of bounce around between the middle point based on where they were killed. So if you kill them right in that sweet spot, they don't really move vertically at all, and they just go horizontally, and your crosses will do a lot of the work.
Yeah, it seems like they have a heavy momentum or inertia that they have that where if they start moving, they kind of do like a swooping pattern in the process. And both runners here are coming into stage A, the penultimate stage, the mandatory clock tower.
Yep. Lots of places where an unintended damage boost is just guaranteed death.
Yeah, one big giant climb. Ooh! So Boga, I respect it, trying to go for the despawn on the second gear teeth by actually kind of flooding the sprite limit, but unfortunately taking that back boost there. Definitely a little scary, but no harm, no foul on that one.
Yeah, Stuff taking it a little bit safe, but honestly, getting through and not dying seems like it's going to be a good strategy based on all the stuff that Boga's going for.
Oh, Boga getting bullied by that skeleton. They're taking 2 unintentional hits. His health looking really sketchy. Still opting to go for that Medusa boost. Quick way to go through it. He looks like he's going to set up for the quick ring. Grabs it. Nice job. The man has no fear. You think that he would play a little more conservatively after 2 deaths on the chandeliers, but he's committed to what he's doing here and putting on a heck of a show.
Yeah, luckily the Medusa heads here will only hit for 1. Oh wow, just enough health to do that boost.
I can't believe it. Nicely done getting the quick ring there by setting up with you can do it either with a Medusa head or an axe boost there off that knight, but his health is entirely low at this point. It's gonna be kind of scary, but coming in there, nice ring clip. Just stares the axe in the face, doesn't even throw across to take care of that, and makes it through up to the top. Gets himself that checkpoint right before going into our friend Akmadon II, the mummy.
Ooh. Sometimes with the way that those enemies and candles line up, your crosses will end up getting canceled, like their hit should have hit, but won't. I thought Boga was going to die there.
Pretty scary. Also, sometimes if this mummy spawns in the middle and walks forward with those bandages, the bandage actually can kind of hit you from behind if you're on the very back end of that platform and push you into the pit. It's a bit discouraging. Looks like this will be a solid 2 cycle from Boga, and we'll be moving into stage B, the ultimate stage here, and 4 bosses remain.
I always enjoy watching people's different takes on the vertical ring sections. There's so many different ways to do it, and everyone has their own unique way.
Yeah, we've seen some people modify their strategies for the tournament specifically, that maybe they don't go for some of the faster strats. There's also a rosary that's available to you to use against that bone dragon, rather than just kind of going downward if you want to do that a little bit safer.
Yeah, both racers getting the middle bandage spawn, so I guess we're keeping things even.
Oh, great. Well, at the same
Identical
same RNG.
spawns.
How about that? Very nice. A nice, comfortable two-cycle for Stuff. The Mummy, however, not doing him any favors to get him back in this. It comes down to Boga here, and I've seen him do some very impressive strats on the stair climb, for what it's worth. And he does some cross-locking to kind of reduce his time. Let's see if he goes for that here today. There's also some optional ring glitches we can see. Well, welcome to the first unofficial boss of Stage B, which is Stairs Boss, taking a mechanic that sometimes rarely works in the game and just making you force your way through. There was a cross throw here to reduce that time coming off that staircase. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's a really nice setup. It's sort of similar thing to the spike jump. When you come off the top of the stairs, you're on a good pixel that you won't fall through. So if you just use the cross, so you can buffer your inputs.
Beautiful ring snap there, kind of going around a much faster way than going up to the steps and walking up. Crawling his way down here. Okay, he did not go for the ring glitch on that one, however.
Boga going for more swag, it looks like.
I see that. Nicely done. Stuff coming into the Stairs Boss here as Boga reaches the top misty part of this climb. Just one more set of floating platforms remain. Oh, he's got to hold your breath right there. Nicely done. Yeah, that's the pattern that you want, the shortest amount of jumps to get there. And now Boga has entered the room of close associates. Starting off
good
with
amount of hearts. Yeah, trying to stack the crosses on him, because he's invulnerable for the first little bit that he's on the ground, and you're able to get a few crosses on top of him before he becomes hittable.
Very nicely done. Yeah, Slogger actually has very, very long iframes here, and it was kind of meant to be almost like an auto scroller of a boss in a way, but stacking them crosses, getting the multi-hits definitely cuts down the cycles quite considerably. Boga going down to 1 health once again. Slogger not playing nice.
Yeah, just narrowly escaping with his health.
And Stuff also getting the nice pattern there, moving into Slogger as we see Boga going on to Gaibon.
That's an ideal Gaibon fight. You actually want to kill him a little bit late in the first phase so that you can get a quicker kill in the second.
It was a very nice strategy there, and layered the crosses perfectly in that triangle pattern that just kind of followed. Gaibon didn't even have a chance. Coming into death, opting for a different setup on this one, not the traditional one of just throwing the timing cross, just kind of going basically beyond the spirits. That's a good first phase. Nice job there.
Yep.
Very nice kill.
Yeah, the closer to the middle, the better. But I mean, that's about as perfect as you can get.
Very good.
Slogger done on Stuff. That's always scary.
With plenty of health too on his side, so no problem here. We have Boga making the final climb up the Drac. Plenty of health and hearts.
I'm not sure what he's doing.
Pausing on the steps for a period of time. The timer's still going, so yeah. Clearly the stream is still active. I don't know. I don't understand.
I wonder if he is... Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing.
Is he potentially waiting? Is he watching the stream to see when Stuff may be getting there, roughly? And giving him the gentleman's wait at this point? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here right at this final moment. It is a bit perplexing, but it's... this could be a gentleman's gesture to see who can get the better Drac fight to kind of decide this whole thing. And clearly we still see the background moving as well, so we have things going on. We see a mouse cursor.
Yeah. When you gotta go, I guess.
I don't think that's the case in this case, but Stuff taking care of death, walking in there. But we're both still on sub 40 pace. Stuff going down to the secret area there to fill up on hearts and delicious air meats. I don't really want to call them wall meats in this case, but a whole bunch of small pork chops. Stuff passing Boga on the steps.
We're almost past the point of stream delay as well.
Yes, and I kind of wonder if he's waiting for that moment to just kind of watch for that to see if that's the case. I don't know. Unless this is Boga's way of intentionally pushing himself down into the lower bracket right now. Stuff is stuff, moving himself forward.
Yeah, like Dracula's already half dead, essentially.
There is no chat within the race from Boga. There's nothing I'm seeing within the Discord either.
All right, just a couple more layered crosses on Dracula. Looks like he missed that final meat phase. But he's good to take 2 more hits.
And still on sub 40 pace on Stuff's side. Just needs to finish up this final phase. And Boga has come back to life once again.
And that's that.
And that's it for Stuff is Stuff, taking care of Drac. Looks like he's going to have himself a mid 38 or so from this, which is a fantastic race time. I'm sure he has been pretty happy with that. I think he had 1 death, I believe, this entire run. That was the costly one in stage 9 on the second screen, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Whereas Boga finishing things up on his side here with Drac, and that is a 38:37 showing on Stuff's timer. Let me see, get the official time from Race Time. Race Time says Stuff is Stuff has finished in first place with a time of 38:41.
Oh, we're going crazy now. One or two more hits and we are good here on Bogaaboogaa's side.
And there it is, another sub 40 on his side. I don't know. I really want to get both of these runners in the booth here so we can talk about what just happened. I'm perplexed, to put it lightly. Very confusing, but also very good runs from both here. A really great way to start off this Saturday. But your unexpected winner, Stuff is Stuff.
Yeah, Stuff is moving on, which means that he's going to be facing the winner of Kenshin Trek versus Cypherin.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough matchup too. There, Cypherin gonna be trying to do his best. Definitely a talented runner in many regards, but Kenshin, a true student of the game who is stuck with it. Always someone that is willing to help out across the board. And we are joined in the booth here by Stuff is Stuff. Hello, Stuff. Congratulations on your victory over Boga.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
How did you feel after that death in stage 9, by the way?
Gross. I was like, oh man, Boga's so good. But I also knew that Boga, like, he already said he was going to go for all the crazy things and, put on a show. I was like, all right, just play well. And then, like, basically when he told me that, I had that, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, he died twice on chandeliers.
Oh no, is he going for 1 cycles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went for 1 cycle every time. Like he was unshaken by everything and went for everything basically.
What an absolute legend.
The first one to go for the level 1 wall clip as well. Unfortunately, he failed that in the process, so he took an early death, but he battled back in the process.
Oh man, yeah, he's so good.
Hi. that was
first one to go for the level 1 wall clip as well. Unfortunately, he failed that in the process, so he took an early death, but he battled back in the process.
Oh man, yeah, he's so good.
I also failed the chandeliers. This is the thing I practiced the most.
Hello, Boga. By the way, Boga, we were talking about before the race began. Pardon me. We're talking about the race began that you have a lot of great knowledge in the game. You've done a lot of ROM hacking and stuff like that. That little swag moment in stage 4, I've never seen that where Simon was actually able to make it up on the blocks like that. Very cool. By the way, Boga, we were talking about before the race began. Pardon me. Talking about the race began that you have a lot of great knowledge in the game. You've done a lot of ROM hacking and stuff like that. That little swag moment in stage 4, I've never seen that where Simon was actually able to make it up on the blocks like that. Very cool. That's the first time that I had seen it. I think also the same thing for you too, DD.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw it. Definitely got a good reaction out of both of us.
Very neat. So we appreciate.
Yeah, I have to rewatch that. I actually still don't know who won actually because my timer still went.
It is, and that was the first. That's the first time that I had seen it. I think also the same thing for you too, DD.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw it. Definitely got a good reaction out of both of us.
On the stairs to Drac. So we appreciate that moment. We were perplexed as to what was going on because clearly things were still moving, but you weren't.
Well, I wanted to have.
Okay.
I don't know. I like to put up.
So Boga, I have to ask you a question that's probably burning on everybody's mind. What happened on the stairs to Drac? What was that moment? We were perplexed as to what was going on because clearly things were still moving, but you weren't. Well, we appreciate the showmanship, hands down. But unfortunately, that showmanship is what actually puts stuff over the top there in those final moments. You had some very nice boss kills.
Yeah,
on death, by the way.
I know Drac. I totally messed up Drac. But well, because things happen.
Well, I'm sure that you will clean house in the lower bracket, but I think I've said that about everyone that's skilled that has gone down there. But you guys are not out of it yet. You're moving on, and as Drunken Draconian had said, you'll be facing the winner of Kenshin Trek versus Cypher. And how do you feel about that stuff?
I mean, it's gonna be fun regardless. This is gonna be like I've been playing this game for 3 months now, so whatever happens, happens.
Agreed. And Boga, how do you feel about the lower bracket and your chances down there?
I think I have good chances. I don't know. I mean, I have fun racing, and I will make sure that I win some more races down there.
Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to seeing both of you continue on in the tournament. DD, any questions for these fine folks?
I don't know. As long as you guys had fun, that's the big thing for me. Like, if you're not having fun playing video games, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, you chose the wrong thing.
Exactly. Well, GG's to you both. A very entertaining race there with some pretty amazing moments overall. Boga, great job on getting the zip, by the way, under tournament conditions. I think you're the third one to do it now.
Well, thanks. I hope to do it some more times. Another thing I practiced, I shouldn't fail it that often anymore.
It was very nice. I'm very textbook on that one. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your talents today. Thank you for those that restreamed. Keep it here, though, folks. Castlevania speedruns. That is only one of 4 matches this weekend here. We have another one coming up here later on today, scheduled for 10 p.m. GMT 0. So for us here on the East Coast and Eastern Daylight Time, that would be 6 p.m. this evening. Shin David 07 versus Eagle Eye Jones, and that is losers bracket action. Loser goes home.
Yeah, you don't want to be late for the eliminate.
And that's going to be a good one here overall. Eagle Eye Jones going to be the underdog going into that one. Shin David being a fantastic runner, putting on a heck of a show too as well. That was quite the run. And Sunday, we have 2 matches lined up for that one as well. And that one kicks off at 3 p.m. GMT 0, which would be 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is Tinue versus Vrush. And actually, that's going to be Vrush's first appearance in the tournament. I can't wait to see that matchup. That one's going to be really, really solid. And later on in the day there, 11 p.m. GMT 0. So that would be 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Then that one, Nice Guy versus Zodzerk.
Yeah, both are going to be great matches.
That's also Nice Guy's debut too.
Yep. Nice Guy is a very solid runner. He's been running this game for quite some time. Runs a whole bunch of other Castlevania games as well.
Yeah, right you are. So this is going to be a very high skill weekend. A lot of great stuff to see here, folks. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that follow button, and stay here with us. But thank you guys very much. Thank you, Drunken Draconian, for joining me in the commentary booth here, and thank you, runners, for putting on a heck of a show for us. GG's all around.
Yeah,
Thanks for the commentary.
And thank you so much, Boga.
Well, thank you too.
I appreciate you. You've helped a lot as well, so thank you.
It's good sportsmanship. You love to see it, guys. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you a little bit later on today here on Castlevania Speedruns. Thank you for those that tuned in. Thank you for the restreamers and everyone else hanging out here. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
So long.